What is up, YouTube? It's VyPr Sports here, and today we have some huge breaking NFL news involving the LA Rams. They first traded cornerback Marcus Peters to the Baltimore Ravens and have now traded for Jacksonville Jaguars cornerback Jalen Ramsey. These are huge moves that are going to change the team and potentially the entire NFC. So without further ado, let's get into it. The first move that the LA Rams made today was trading cornerback Marcus Peters to the Baltimore Ravens for Kenny Young and a 5th round pick. For the Ravens, I really like this. Their defense is already great, but now it gets even better. Their secondary arguably is the best in the league right now, with Earl Thomas, Marcus Peters, Marlon Humphrey, and Jimmy Smith. Not to mention other great players on that defense as well, such as Matthew Judon. Their defense is amazing. I think this really signifies that the Ravens are looking to be contenders. With Lamar Jackson still on his rookie contract in his second year, they have Mark Ingram now at running back, who has been very, very good this season, and some pretty good receiving threats like Marquise Brown. I think the Ravens are trying to go on a run. I think they're trying to win the AFC North, and I really think now they have an even better chance of being able to do that with another great addition to their defense. And when the Rams made this move, I was really unsure why. They previously put cornerback Aqib Talib on IR, leaving them without any really good cornerbacks. And the Rams have already been not the best team in the league this year. They made the Super Bowl last year. There were really high expectations for them, and they weren't living up to them. But then they trade for Jacksonville Jaguars cornerback Jalen Ramsey. And I was really surprised to hear that he was going to the LA Rams. There were many teams who at one point were involved in Jalen Ramsey trade talks, but the Rams really weren't getting a lot of buzz. It was mainly teams like Philadelphia. At one point, Baltimore was in that conversation, but never really too crazy. Of course, New England has to be involved in every single trade talk. And there were a few people saying Houston, Oakland, Minnesota were potential trade destinations, but really the main one at the time was Philly. Then trade talks kind of cooled down. Nothing really seemed to be going on, and it seemed like Jalen Ramsey wasn't going to get traded. And now he finally gets traded to a winning team, which is really what he wanted, and it's the LA Rams. Now, for the Rams, this is great. You are getting one of, if not the best cornerback in the entire NFL. That is huge for any defense. And being able to pair him with arguably the best defensive player in the league in Aaron Donald is flat out amazing. This should be a very, very dominant defense. And while, yes, there's going to be somewhat of a learning curve for Ramsey, given that it's a new team, new teammates, new system, his talent and the talent of the players around him, because the rest of the Rams defense is still very good. This is going to be a very good, very scary team. And it really shows that the Rams aren't giving up. They want to win now despite their problems. So far, there are two teams ahead of them in the NFC West, the Seattle Seahawks and the San Francisco 49ers, who are currently undefeated. They want to be able to compete with San Francisco and Seattle. They want to be able to go on another Super Bowl run. And adding a player like Jalen Ramsey, while that is great, it may not have been exactly what this team needed. I understand the perspective that the Rams front office was coming from, that because the offense has not been as good as they were last year, take some pressure off of them by getting an even better defense. But I don't know how much that's going to help their offense and the problems that they're facing. Jalen Ramsey isn't an offensive lineman, and their O-line has not been the best. Jalen Ramsey isn't a fully healthy Todd Gurley who's going to be an MVP candidate. Jalen Ramsey is an amazing cornerback, but he's not going to help you offensively, and that's really what the Rams need more of right now. The Rams are in a pretty good position to just continue playing well, continue winning games, but really I don't know how much this Ramsey trade is going to help them going forward. Especially given that they gave up 2 first-round picks. We're getting the kind of feeling that the Rams front office values talent over potential in draft picks, which makes sense. Getting players like Jared Goff and Brandon Cooks and now Jalen Ramsey through the use of first-round draft picks makes perfect sense. But really, I don't know how much this is going to impact them in the long run with potential problems because they don't have first-round draft picks, or really just in general, how good this team is going to be. Because, well, yes, Jalen Ramsey is an upgrade over Marcus Peters, that's for sure. There are still other problems that this team needs to address. For the Jaguars, 2 first-round picks is great. Jaguars, it really didn't seem like Jalen Ramsey was going to be there for much longer. It looks like they're trying to change up the culture, and one of the main problems with that culture was Jalen Ramsey being a problem in the locker room, him not being the most team-first guy because of his competitive nature, and that caused problems with him being on a losing team. So getting rid of him and getting 2 first-round picks, very good, but I'm also surprised that it's the Rams who are now expected to have much higher picks in the first round, or I guess you could consider lower picks. They're going to not be in that top 10 pick range. They're going to be more late 20s, potentially 30s picks. So I do kind of understand that, yeah, 2 first-round picks is 2 first-round picks, but at the same time, I feel like there may have been a better deal on the table, and that's what I'm really interested to know, is was there a better deal on the table for the Jacksonville Jaguars? Or did they trade Jalen Ramsey to the Rams to make him happy and show their other players that they are willing to put those players first? This also seems to show that the NFL is moving closer towards the NBA with a player empowerment movement, basically. Recently, players have been getting a lot more power in the NFL than they have in the past. The NBA has been on that path for a while now, but now it looks like the NFL is finally hopping on board with that. Players like Khalil Mack and Aaron Donald holding out got them big money and, in Mack's case, a trade. Le'Veon Bell holding out got him a new team and a lot of guaranteed money that the Steelers weren't going to give him, and he's now on the New York Jets. Jadeveon Clowney holding out got him a trade, and the same thing happened now, or a very similar thing happened now with Jalen Ramsey. Players are starting to demand trades, and they're being listened to. It's really surprising to see that in the NFL, considering how owner-based and how management-based the league has been in the past, and seeing that is a change, whether it's for the better or for the worse, is yet to be determined. We'll see the ramifications of that more in the coming years, but it's really interesting to see how this league that was once so owner-based is now moving towards a player empowerment movement even further than it has been, and the progress that has been made over the past few years, and more recently, the past few months. So those are my thoughts on Jalen Ramsey getting traded to the LA Rams, and the Rams trading Marcus Peters to the Baltimore Ravens, and what this means for the entire league. Please let me know your thoughts on these trades. Do you like this trade for your team? Are you a fan of either of these teams? And if so, what do you think? If you're not a fan of these teams, still, what do you think of these trades and how will it impact your team? Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Please like the video if you enjoyed and consider subscribing if you're new. This has been VyPr Sports, and I will see you in the next video.